actually gone out of the pool.
Soraka and Senna inching higher and higher on this
the
list.
The priority's getting bigger. Thresh, the pick for G2. We expected them to go towards a support on that rotation. Thresh, Leona, Nautilus all available, but Mickey trusting himself on the Soul Warden in that bottom lane.
Okay, so what's it going to be, Cabo? What will you reveal potentially against a Lucian top, especially with 3 top lane bans? Yasuo would be fun.
Yeah, Yasuo is very fun. I like the ability to get onto that backline as well, especially with the Gragas explosive cast. You have a great synergy already there.
Could even try to go for a double flex here, and something that's played in both mid and top lane.
Mordekaiser?
Wait for the last second to see who's going to go where.
I'm just listing champions that
More
I know
Ryze,
now.
but
Yeah, Ryze works well. And Seiken, of course, played Ryze the first time he was on the LEC stage against Misfits. He had a great 2v1 outplay versus Soaz and Maxlaw in the bottom lane, but Rumble also works as a flex. Ornn does as well, technically. We have seen some mid lane Ornn across the last few weeks.
I think they've just given away that it's the mid lane Yasuo.
Yeah, I think they have as well, but I like a little bit of mystery, a little bit of intrigue.
Okay, this is the moment. He's hovering it.
He's not gonna do it. You got my hopes up so high. They're like, look at his face. He's trolling us as hard as he can right now. Oh, come on.
He did it!
Yes! Oh, I'm so happy.
Okay, and this is good because I've done my Soraka top research. So we are gonna really dive into the nitty-gritty of this.
I'm so happy, boss.
Chakra has just put out an excellent guide talking about Soraka top and mid. It's also been appearing into the bottom lane in the ADC position. It is all over scrims right now, all over multiple regions. And how it's really going to work is you max Q when you're into the top lane, and against, I was going to say against a Rumble, but the Rumble was hovered. It's actually really good at absorbing and negating a lot of instantaneous burst damage because a team fight happens, the enemy team uses all their massive big cooldowns, and then Soraka just smashes R and then also has the redemption itemization and just completely resets everything that you wanted to do. So against a team comp that is super reliant on big, crucial R buttons, Soraka just destroys it. And then she hyperscales into late game where she's putting out ridiculous heals in tandem with an Fiend's Unholy Grail.
I cannot wait to see how effective the Soraka top is. It's teleport alongside the flash to get back into that lane a little bit easier. We do need to talk about the rest of the lineup.
No, only Soraka.
Only Soraka, only Ornn. Let's have a look at the rest of it because you do have this pretty good engaged composition from the side of Vitality, Call of the Forge God, Explosive Cast, Braum jumping in there, Yasuo with the last breath. I can see how that works as a teamfight comp.
Yeah, and they also have great scaling potential and the ability to play a side lane, especially with something like the Yasuo. So there's a lot of flexibility for Vitality still here.
And we are going to jump on to the Rift. Third game of the day. First Soraka top without Smite in the LEC. And we have a pause.
It's okay. It is more time to talk about Soraka top.
Well, we could wait because we have a really cool graphic that I want to bring up to talk about Soraka top.
We do have a cool graphic.
Talk about the composition from G2. Because you told me how Soraka resets fights, but how does the rest of the G2 composition actually take a fight?
I mean, the longer that fights go on for, because they have a double ADC, the better G2's chances will come up because they do so much overtime or kind of sustained damage. And then when you pair that again with the Soraka, like, you have to think if a team fight lasts more than 15 seconds, G2 have won it.
Okay. Double AD carries work very well in a team fight. Don't see a huge amount of disengage. Like, Lucian and Aphelios, relatively low mobility. Of course, Lucian has the dash to get away, but alongside that, Elise can't really disengage too well for you. Thresh can put up a box, but you have a lot of ability to jump on the enemy AD carries here from Vitality. So maybe a couple of Grievous Wounds early, maybe a couple of Executioner's Callings early. It's going to be quite difficult for G2 to last through a fight.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to consider what you're going to do around the heals. And again, Vitality's composition still has so much versatility and flexibility into it. They can play a side lane. They also have great scaling options. They have great 5v5 and a lot of CC. I do think that G2's composition is harder to execute, but that's kind of been the MO for G2.
Yep.
They pick ridiculously complicated comps to execute on, and then because they're G2, they just win anyway.
We are on to Summoner's Rift. I had a quick look at top lane itemization. Cabochard going for the refillable potion, and then we'll probably get a Doran shield in lane, of course, because you can just build in the lane. see a lot of Ornn's doing this. He hasn't made a mistake. You just need a little bit of gold before you can get that Doran's shield. And it's Doran's ring and 2 pots on Soraka. And I don't really know if that's... I assume that's the conventional build. I assume that's what you'd go.
Now, here's the thing about Soraka top is that she's being run with 2 different summoner spells. It's either the barrier or it's the teleport.
Okay.
And you can actually see both depending on top lane. You'd assume, it's top lane. Of course, it's going to be teleport every single time. Now, Wunder runs it teleport, I think, every single time when I checked his solo queue account or where he was practicing the Soraka. And one of the issues that she has is that if the wave gets away from her or it gets put in a bad space, she actually needs a lot of assistance to get the wave back safely because Soraka is still very susceptible to ganks. And with a champion like Ornn, you have great gank setup. So Vitality, if they want to try to punish that, there's that ability that the wave gets away from Wunder, he has a hard time resetting it because she's great at pushing and trading because she gets the health back on the Q and she just spams Q and tries to run you down with it. But if she's overextended, Gragas and Ornn will just have a field day with her.
Oh, I've accidentally brought up the wrong
graphic.
The wrong one. I'll get the correct one up for a second. So yes, Soraka top. The reason that it's great, as you said, is the wave clear from the start call. And then when you get this Athene's redemption, you reset fights really well. You set it a little bit in pick and ban. If the fight doesn't kill you, all you do is you pop your ult and you pop your redemption in Athene's and you get a lot of healing back. And
I suspect that we'll see more Soraka because she's really good into a lot of blind pickable supports right now. People are picking a lot of Braum, a lot of Tom Kench you're seeing globally, and Soraka can slot down into that support position if you decide you don't like the top lane matchup. So she is triple flex in mid, top, and support. Now this time around it was the last pick into the Ornn, so you don't necessarily get to see that potential blind pick safety that offers her with the flex, but it is something to consider. And then again, kind of some of the core itemization is that she will look for the Athene's Unholy Grail. Obviously, you can stack up the charges on it by spamming Q, and then when you tap that next heal, someone is going to get a lot of health back.
And a lot of people think of Soraka as only healing her teammates. Of course, if you hit the Q, you get a bunch of healing for yourself that you can then pass on to your teammates in a fight. So it's actually quite difficult to harass her down in the lane. Jankos here has already got both of his buffs. Did Gromp blue and red. And now Skeanz has come across after doing a full topside clear. Jankos really doesn't have the position to stay around for too much longer. You can see already Jactroll is on his way across. He'll just take away the Scryer's bloom, but we'll have to retreat out of the jungle. But
it does mean that with so much information about Skeanz being on the bottom side, that Wunder super safe to really build up a slow push here and have a big crash onto Cabochard's tower. And you can see that he's already really starting to chunk him out. Now, reminder that the Star Call will crash down faster the closer that Soraka is. So Wunder's doing a good job kind of like sniping out Cabochard with a lot of these Qs, but if someone does manage to rush forward, get on top of Soraka, she actually is pretty tanky or harder to kill because the Star Call will start just like zipping down from the ground, like meteors raining hell upon you, and she's getting so much health back.
It's just so difficult to play into her as well, especially if you're looking for like a telegraphed engage, because she puts down that Equinox, you're silenced, you can't go any further forward because you just get stunned and you have to try and retreat out of it. So Cabochard's not going to have the most fun here in the top lane. Volatile Spiderling, we'll see Seiken.
He's just stopping the back. Wunder, unfortunately the wave is actually getting frozen, or not frozen, but is spending a lot more time on Cabochard's side. So now that Skeanz has reset and is playing top side, it's going to force Jankos and PerkZ to also play top side to protect Wunder here. So Jankos doing a good job invading, finding this Gragas, and trying to create space for his Soraka to get a better wave placement.
Well, do you want to dive a little bit deeper on how those wave mechanics work? Because as you might have seen a couple of minutes ago, we actually are going to talk quite a bit about wave management this game. We've mentioned freezing, we've mentioned crashing, but exactly what our top lane is looking to do for us.
So, and it's not just top laners, it's kind of everyone, and we wanted to make it really simple and put waves into 3 primary buckets, which is freezing, crashing, and pushing or priority, and kind of why you would do that. So this is a slow push into a crash. So he is crashing 2 waves that have been stacked together, and this can be useful because you can either get a cheater recall, like if Wunder wanted to, he could back and then walk back into lane, not expend a teleport, or you can really hard punish, either through a dive or continuous poke. Because you've crashed 2 big waves, Cabochard has to stay, he has to approach the minion wave, and you can see that Wunder just gets to sit there and chunk him out with those Qs, and then probably push the wave back in and force a TP out of Cabochard, whereas Wunder, again, is still going to have time to possibly walk back to the lane.
See Cabochard there having to teleport back in. It means there will be a summoner spell advantage for Wunder, as you say. He won't have to burn his TP to get back here. We have looked a lot at the top lane. Let's have a quick look across the scoreboard to see if anything else interesting is happening. And there is. PerkZ has doubled the CS of Seiken early on in this game. Of course, it's quite hard as Yasuo to beat a ranged matchup early on. And there has been a little bit of jungle pressure from Jankos as well. So that's a sizable lead early in the game.
So what PerkZ did right there is dragging the minion wave aggro and then walking to the brush, not only placing the ward, but again, getting the wave to stack up right in front of his tower. Depending on how he thins this, if he hits the cannon creep, now that it's hit the tower, it will potentially bounce back. He can try to keep it frozen here because he's just come off of a back and force Seiken to overextend.
You can see Skeanz trying to get in here just to protect his mid laner, but that ward that PerkZ placed is going to spot them out. Jankos misses the cocoon. Seiken is able to walk to safety. But it's just constant harass, constant poke from PerkZ. The Cullen coming out even. Seiken ignited, has to flash away.
And that's where you're starting to see the massive CS gaps, 28 to 53 between this Yasuo and Lucian. It's because PerkZ is continuously doing maneuvers like that. Getting the wave frozen in front of his tower, Seiken has to walk up, overextend, and get smashed.
First blood to the first blood king. Jankos sinks in the fangs. Mickey was there to lend a bit of a helping hand. Didn't actually do too much. PerkZ got an assist on it though, so he'll be pretty happy with that.
And so far, G2 are just muscling their way through this lane phase.
It's actually just disgusting. They've already got a 1,000 gold lead. You have a very big CS lead for PerkZ in the mid lane, and now you know Seiken has no flash. You can just rinse and repeat. They're looking for a fight up towards the top lane as Cabochard may be caught out. He's going to use the steering charge to get away. Jankos still on the chase, not going to do too much as they just push out the wave. Caps got ignited here. There's a lot of damage coming down. Cop! Dawning Shadow was flashed away there by Caps.
Meanwhile, in the top lane,
Call of the Forge God on Wunder, but do they know that Jankos has stayed around? Wunder ignited, Skeanz coming in, Wunder's down. Jankos trying to get something out of this, but this might be two quick kills to Vitality. Smite from Skeanz. Going for the dive underneath the tower. Great repel by Jankos, and Cabo will not tank that any longer.
So good job for Vitality to punish Soraka there. They CC locked her, I believe. She didn't even get a chance to A, flash or use the last wish to try to get a bunch of that health back. But on the back end, Jankos played it very well to escape with his life. So making sure that it wasn't 2 kills that went in Vitality's back pocket.
Jankos is back though. Wunder teleported back into the lane. Cabo, of course, no flash on him. You see Wunder just trying to keep this wave in a favorable position, knowing that Cabochard doesn't have the flash.
Taking another look at what happened there. Let's see how long she's CC'd for. So she's up in the air.
Stunned.
He just held on to it for a long time. He did have an opportunity to flash away, but got outplayed.
Maybe thinking that Jankos could react, and if you flash, maybe they back away, so...
So I also want to point out what Wunder has done here in the picture-in-picture. So he teleports back to the lane. He takes a super hard trade with the Ornn, knowing that Ornn doesn't have the TP. And I was going to say, usually they would take their backs then. He's going to get an extra buy, kind of get all the mana back, all of the health back that he'd done on a hard trade. But instead, he's actually using the time to clear out vision. But what you can see is those top laners then get a quick back here and then come back super refreshed. And you're still just taking away that much more CS. The wave will collect up, and then eventually it will, I would say, slow push back to him, but as he star calls, he actually just wants to push it in.
Trying to get that wave underneath the tower as often as possible. Mickey once again with the roam here. Seiken and Jactroll are having a little buddy-buddy system, but the flake comes out. Seiken gets the double knockup, dodges the hook. I'm going to say dodges. Mickey missed it, but we'll give him that one. Then they're going to jump in onto PerkZ, but Seiken, that was way too greedy, way too much. Another kill goes down to G2.
It was a one-ticket ride for Seiken. He's like, no matter what happens, I am ulting on this Gragas barrel.
Yeah, it doesn't tend to work when you haven't thought through the consequences of your actions. And it was a good timing from Mickey to get the roam up, of course. Caps had backed away from that bottom lane, and now G2, with a 1,500 gold advantage, will start up this mountain dragon. Should be pretty easy to secure for them. Jactroll's going to get hooked. The lantern's there. And there's the flame. Jactroll flashes away, but Jankos, the cocoon connects. Right at the tip of it, you have to feel. Caps now joins the action. He gets his first kill of the game.
Did Mickey make up for the initial dodge?
That was a super easy hook. He was on ward.
Yeah, but he got a sweet lantern. He got the hook, the nice setup.
Nah. Got to do a few more of those. I need some mad life hooks if I'm going to give Mickey the benefit of the doubt. Especially since last week, he did have a few inting moments early on in the game. I think all of G2 had a few inting moments early on in the game last week. I think they were average 1.7 thousand gold behind at the 15-minute mark.
I mean, we heard it from VODS. G2 had a bit of a messy early game last week, but much cleaner this time around.
Yeah, it's been a lot better for them.
quiet 50 CS lead in the mid lane.
And a 10 CS lead in the bot lane, which sounds nowhere near as impressive, because it's not. But Jankos also has about a 600 gold advantage because of his 2 kills on this Elise, made his name for it, a name on it, when he first joined the league all those years ago. And Vitality just trying to find the scraps that they can. 2,500 gold behind, they will get a Rift Herald, which is something good, especially before the 14-minute mark. You can get some plates, but look at how much CS they're losing in the bottom lane because of this.
It's also the fact that Caps is getting a lot of free gold and free experience by himself. Excuse me, solo gold and solo experience by himself. Yeah. Since Mickey has been roaming around a lot. And as Vitality walk back to this tower, they need to be very careful. There's at least 3 members of G2 sniffing around down here.
And Vitality really don't have any vision in this bottom side of the jungle. You can see Caps gets a couple of plates, has a 10 CS lead or so, gets his back, and we'll see where he decides to go for that first item. Caulfield's Warhammer and the Cloak of Agility, slightly nerfed on this patch, but do build into the Essence Reaver still.
I think there's a chance that Vitality use the Rift Herald down here. Skeanz is still behind them.
Yeah, it's quite possible. The thing with the Rift Herald is you want to take as many plates as you can before you put it down, because it does true damage. So you build up the Bulwark stacks, and then you let the Rift Herald get the extra charge in, working past that extra armor and magic resist that a tower gets.
And it looks like they weren't here for the Herald, but just for the priority over the bottom side river, as now Skeanz and Jactroll have cleared all of this vision out, although there's still 2 deep wards behind them from G2.
Well, we'll see what G2 decide to do. They do have teleport on Wunder, but that's on cooldown right now. A good ward there for Mickey will spot out Skeanz, and I believe we'll see Saken when he comes around the corner here. Yeah, now they know he's here. There's the Rift Herald. G2 shouldn't defend this. It's very greedy to defend.
But they have 4 members running down here, so here comes PerkZ and Jankos.
But that tower's almost gone.
Mickey's looking for...
Mickey's stepping forward.
A flash.
Looking for something. Comp gets the Glacial Augment slow. G2 have been able to keep the tower alive. Oh, Graviton's gonna get the root, and here comes the engage. Jactroll puts up the Unbreakable, and some damage comes down. There's a Dawning Shadow. Jankos almost dead. Piercing Darkness will just about keep Jactroll alive. PerkZ up towards the top side. He's just 1v1ing Saken. Forsaken by his team, forsaken by nature. They can dive. Mickey flashes forward. Skeanz with the stopwatch almost gets the play, but PerkZ is just diving it. The wish comes out, and that's more than enough. That's 1 more. PerkZ's got the double. Skeanz gets the teleport from his teammates to try and defend. Cabochard's going to call to the Forge God. Lands on Caps. Looking for the start, but Caps gets the lantern away. Saken flashing forward. Jankos still alive, and another goes down. Now it's all Skeanz underneath the tower. Mickey takes it up, and PerkZ flashes for his second double of the fight.
And I think that might be all she wrote. Only 13 minutes in the game, but you are witnessing what G2 do best, and it is style and flex on their opponents with perfect execution.
Incredible stuff there by G2. The tower aggro, the kiting in and out, get the first tower of the game, and with it, a 6,000 gold lead.
And meanwhile, of course, we didn't get to talk about this with Soraka. Like Gangplank, doesn't have to teleport to participate in fights because she has the global wish. We said that they could dive knowing that Soraka had the ultimate available. Cabo decides to commit to his team, and now he's going to lose very hard. So what was a fairly close 10 CS difference between Ornn and Soraka has now opened back up as Wunder got to participate, pick up all of those assists, and stayed fat and happy on the top side of the map.
We'll have another look at that fight, because it drew on for a long time.
Really cool setup from Caps to use the ultimate to, get the purple lock down. And then it looks like for a second that Jactroll's going to go down. He does manage to bounce back to safety, but the difference between Saken and PerkZ, 2 levels, I believe it was right there. Just finds the 1v1. Good stopwatch from Skeanz to dodge out from the Death Stance, but there's the wish from Soraka, giving G2 the all go-ahead to look for the dive. Really nice outplay from Caps on the stopwatch himself. That's, again, all she wrote.
That poor tower is still alive.
A stiff breeze will take it down.
G2 coming out swinging in this game, and
PerkZ is 5-0-2.
Yeah, he's in a pretty good position. I mean, let's give credit to Caps as well. He's got a whole kill and an assist. And the Essence Reaver complete. I do want to have a look at how much gold PerkZ is ahead of Saken right now, because that's got to be a pretty sizable sum. He's got a 600 gold bounty on himself.
Well, Saken has some shoes.
Yes.
And 4 daggers.
So how much gold do you think that's worth?
I mean, basically he's running around with like some Pumas and a Swiss Army knife. That's really like a corkscrew.
A Swiss Army knife can do a lot of things, Fosk, okay?
He's got nail clippers,
got all of those different
a corkscrew,
attachments.
a bottle opener.
That's what Aphelios is. Aphelios is the Swiss Army knife of AD carries. Because you can do anything. A little bit of everything. PerkZ, 7,500 gold.
That's a 3K difference between the mid laners.
That's a pretty sizable stone. And we talked about how teamfights only go well for G2 because of their double AD carries. Vitality trying to trade here onto Caps, but Wunder comes in, heals him up, and oh, that crescendo damage. When you team it up with the moonshot from the Calibrum, very difficult to deal with. Do you want to do the Aphelios Twister?
Let's play the game.
We're going to play Aphelios Twister, guys. Here we are.
So we talked about this last time. We had a graphic made. We like to identify Aphelios by colors, and we like to play Twister with him. So again, green for range, red for lifesteal, purple for CC, blue for AoE, and white for dueling.
And PerkZ is, he's got the white gun out right now.
And Lucian for owning.
Yes, Lucian for owning. You only have to feel sorry for Forsaken here. Coming in as the sub for the team, replacing Milica, has had, well, he's felt the bad end of G2. He's felt what a lot of mid laners in the LEC have felt across the years, which is that PerkZ, he really does have a lane kingdom at times.
Yeah. I like how he's like, Caps, you play ADC, locks in ADC mid.
And then, that's true actually, I didn't even think of that. I do like the way he's capitalized his name when he replaced Caps.
When he's in all caps?
Yeah, he's in all caps. Anyway, 7,000 gold lead here for G2. They got the first two dragons.
Look at this dark technology in jungling right now.
What's the dark technology?
He aggroed the Gromp and the blue, which a lot of junglers can do, but some of them don't, and you can actually jungle them at the same time, using the piercing light to go through the blue buff and the Gromp.
Ooh, very intelligent.
It's the little things.
All right, speeds up your clear. He is 170 CS
because he's not just the
17 minutes.
ADC and mid laner, he's also the jungler.
PerkZ moving to jungle next year, confirmed. Doinb is going to come in as the new mid laner for G2. If you can't beat them, join them, apparently, is the motto for this G2 team. 17 minutes in, the Rift Herald will be started by G2, and Vitality really... this is one of those games where I always try and, you know, tell both sides of the story. I always try and look for a way that Vitality could get back into this game, an avenue of approach for them. But you just really don't see it, because G2 with this lead, assuming they play the way that G2 play, shouldn't give you any windows of opportunity.
That's the idea, but we've also seen a lot of fun games from G2.
Happy games.
Happy games, that's the word. The Invictus Gaming happy games from G2.
This doesn't feel like one of those right now. Especially not for Vitality. I don't think they're having too much
very
fun.
happy.
That's true, Fosk. That's true. So there's still Rift out here for Jankos. They're going to use it to try and break the tier 2 in the top wave. And Cabochard's going to try and defend. It didn't last too long. But maybe Vitality. Okay, they're on a pink ward. They have control of this area. Oh! Vitality's going to get a turret. Minions! He did it. Riftel's going to charge in again. G2 trying to crack through the inhibitor line. Here comes the call of the Forge God. PerkZ already used to dash away, has to flash. Here comes Jactroll, gets the double knockoff. Vitality maybe find their fight, but there's another great hook from Mickey. And G2 just turn it right on its head. There's the root. Hits all three. Mickey hooks a minion. I still haven't forgiven him for the earlier mishook.
Excuse you, that was the hero minion right there. That's like the best player Vitality have right now. He blocked the hook. I'm sorry, that was over the line.
That was harsh. Gotta be honest, G2 take the inhibitor. Vitality going extinct like the bees that they represent. G2 now, just backing away. Now that you've got the inhibitor at 19 minutes, you expect a Baron. They can just go straight towards it.
I don't think they would need the Baron to win the game.
I'm not saying they need it. I'm saying G2 are having a lot of fun right now, and a Baron would increase their fun.
The game has gotten very quickly out of control. Now, if Vitality were to hunker down and try to think, okay, what are our options? Now, I'm going to say good news, silver lining.
Okay.
They've opened up a farm lane up into the top.
That's true. Super Minions are going to push that wave in all the time. Free XP.
And so, technically, Forsaken could just hard farm that and try to get back. Take another look at this one. Wunder flashes, doesn't get hit by Call of the Forge God, and also flashes out of Cabochard CC. That's very nice. There's the first hook from Mickey. Caps setting up a great ultimate, and the second, yes, that minion right there. That minion is a hero.
Do we give hero status to the minion that got them the bot lane tower as well?
That is the honorary Jizuke minion.
Oh, okay.
He has gone to North America, but we will still remember him fondly as the minion that saved Vitality there.
Now, G2 turned their eyes towards the Ocean Dragon. I think they'll be hoping the game finishes before his soul is on the menu, with that coming up about the 25-minute mark in this game. They're 10-1 up. They have a 9,000 gold lead. They have 3 dragons. They've got 2 item AD carry in the mid lane. They've almost got a 2 item AD carry in the bot lane. They have Soraka on her power spike of Redemption and Athenes.
She'll probably look for a Ardent Sensor now because she's running a double ADC, and you can see that she's already got the, what is the Fairy Charm upgrade called?
Fairy Charm.
Well, she's got the 2 Fairy Charms into the little rock.
Why'd you keep testing me on these?
It's not a pop quiz, I promise.
I love you so much, but sometimes give me a second to Google, you know? So I'm just gonna, so the upgrade of Fairy Charm is the one you're asking about. Yes, the Fairy Charm upgrade. Is that specifically what you're asking about here, Frost?
It's the purple
You're
rock.
specifically asking about the upgrade of Fairy Charm, which I obviously know is Forbidden Idol.
There you go. Yeah, it's the Ardent Sensor coming
I'm glad the internet is good. You know, to Google that one pretty quickly. G2 have got vision control on the Baron here if they want it, but as you said, they really don't need it to close out the game. And,
no, it is simply a lure. What G2 want is they want more blood. They want Vitality to come to them. They want to continue to kill people repeatedly, and that's what the Baron is.
Okay.
It is the lure.
That makes sense. I've been watching Dracula on Netflix recently. All perks. Steps very far forward. Mickey's got the hook.
Seiken, this is your moment.
Seiken has the flank. They're going to Perks. Dawning Shadow coming out as well. Maybe Seiken's going to be able to kill, but Perks just heals up through all of it. Mickey gets one. Skeanz jumps in. Jankos gets knocked back, but he goes golden underneath the tower, and the redemption and the heals and everything is just far too much. Vitality can do nothing about it, and G2 are back to full health. This is unfair.
Yes, Soraka is very unfair.
Look at that, he just... Caps goes from 1 HP to all of his HP in like half a second.
It's the Jugger perks comp.
As a medic, I think I should be happy about this, but I don't enjoy watching it.
I don't know, it's super fun. Look at how confident PerkZ is to step forward.
That's true. It's like the old, the Juggermore comps of old, as you say. Cabochard hooked up, pops the exhaust. That's not going to do too much for you. G2, 22.5 minutes, and they've already taken down the Nexus Tower. The second will be short to follow after they have got that blood for the blood god that you were talking about. PerkZ still on the front line. The hook from Mickey misses once again. PerkZ dodges to the side. Jankos dodges forward. PerkZ doesn't even need Soraka heals. He's got the Blade of the Ruin King to heal himself up. And now the minions will do the work. Caps with the Gravitum, Cop with the hook, Jankos with the kill. And this was destructive, this was devastating, this was G2 at their finest as they take down Vitality.
And man of its word, it wasn't Sona, but we did get the Soraka top. Thank you, Wunder.
Yes, but I think it's less surprising than the last time he played Soraka top and won. I believe he is the only player in the LEC with a winning record on Soraka top.
He also has the most experience on it.
2 whole games. 2 whole games. The dark technology needed to take them perhaps to more than a 0-3 in the World Finals. Of course, commiserations to Vitality. Was not an easy game to play, but whenever you play against G2, I think you have to count it as a learning experience.
Yeah, it's the measuring stick. You know, you're just going to see how tall you stand on that day. And while we did talk a lot about the Soraka top, as Wunder and Cabo share nice little friendly greeting there, PerkZ